can I put the orgonite, like say like a plate, directly into my water tank?
Okay.
To treat the water.
Yeah.
So actually, let's expand on that a little bit, because we've had some people that they want to take the orgonite sleeping pod or the charge plate, and they want to just basically put it directly into their water tank, like in with the water. And we're saying, no, you really don't want to do that. You know, what you want to do is put it maybe underneath your water tank.
Yes.
Right, because all you need is the energy field that's coming off of this, right? And the energy field will go through the water tank, and it will work the same way. So you don't need to actually put it inside.
Yes, that's right.
Of the water tank.
Yeah.
It's not really that harmful if you do.
Well, I wouldn't suggest you do it.
But I mean, it might get like worn down over time, but we just wouldn't suggest that you do that.
Well, I don't think. Yeah. We don't suggest you put any of these products in your water supply. Again, at the end of the day, this is a plastic, and slowly does degrade over time. So don't do that. Yeah. The whole point of having orgone-based products is that the field itself goes through all material into the actual thing you're trying to treat.
Right.
And an easy experiment of that is the distilled water ice test. I have a glass of, and we'll talk about this later, but have a glass of water resting on top of one of these charge plates and put it in the freezer. And when that ice freezes, the vortex pattern that's coming from the orgonite is actually frozen inside the ice. It's an amazing experiment, but it's to show that that 3D field, that structure, is captured in the water through the glass container. So yeah, all the orgonite you can put near the water supply, near the thing you're trying to treat, and the water over time will be structured, will be conditioned. Hi, this is Stefan from Fix to World Morocco, and today I'm going to show you how you can grid your home, the outside, with Orgone pyramids. Okay, so what we see here is a home that's approximately 1,000 square foot. And what you're going to want to do is take each one of the 4 pyramids and place them around the edge of your home. This is the first pyramid, and I'm placing it right on the border down on the ground. This is the second pyramid, and I'm placing it right down on this corner of the property. This is the third pyramid, and I'm placing this on the corner, the third corner. This is the last pyramid for the 4th corner of the property. Okay, now you've just effectively gridded your property with orgonite, and what this has effectively done is dispense with the chemtrails not only above your home but also in your neighborhood. It works constantly, works 24/7, and this is how you effectively grid your property if you own it. Now, if you rent your property, there might be some other issues involved. If it's a public space where people are traveling or going through it, you might have some problems with people, or if you're afraid of people taking one of the pyramids, then you have to look into other considerations. Like, for example, like this property has a flat roof. So if you don't have the land around you where you can plant all 4 pyramids, you can put the 4 maybe on the top of your flat roof. Also, if you are someone who lives in an apartment, you obviously don't have any land to put the pyramids around. In that case, you'd take the 4 pyramids and you'd put it on the 4 corners inside your home. So these are considerations to look at when you're looking at gridding your property. If you own it and you have acres, then you can get 4 or 8 or 12, depending on how much land you have, and proceed to grid your property based on the dimensions of your land. But if you rent, then it depends on what the landlord has allowed you to place on your property. If you have people going through it and you have concern about people taking your pyramids, then you should probably consider either having it on some part of your property, like your flat roof, or just doing it on the inside of your home. So now let me show you where you can use Orgonite on the inside of your home. Okay, so you're in your main living space, where I suggest one of the main places to put one of these pyramids is where you're doing most of your online activity. And that includes where your TV, the computer, and the router is. In this case, we're going to take one of these pyramids and we're going to put it right next to the router. It's not going to block the signal, but it's going to transform that wireless energy that's coming off of this device into something that's more beneficial, that won't harm you as much. So we're going to take this pyramid and we're going to set it near the router, just like that.
And that's enough, right? That'll do it?
And that's enough.
That's great.
It's great to have Orgonite generally where it's the most lived in the house. And the living space is obviously a place where everyone comes to relax and watch movies and eat and dine and so forth. So along this sofa, if you have a coffee table or some kind of long horizontal surface, you want to place an Orgonite piece, maybe a charge plate, maybe a pyramid, in the center of the room or on your coffee table, in a place to where when there's a lot of people, it also promotes a sense of well-being. And this is all because of simply the stray fields in the environment. When they impact upon your Orgonite piece, it emits a negative ion, and it's a negative passive ionizer. And that's what gives you a sense of well-being, reduces the stress, and creates a calming environment. So, you also want to put a pyramid where there's a lot of activity. You want to put a pyramid near the wireless or some of the wireless machinery, the television, the computer, in order to transform some of those fields from the device that's actually radiating the energy. You also want to put a pyramid in the center of the room where it's the most lived in. But generally, as a good buffer for the inside your home, you want to take a pyramid and you want to put it in the corners of each one of your rooms. So here, we're going to take this pyramid, we're going to put it in the corner of the living room. Now, I'm going to show you how we use Orgonite in the kitchen. So what you see here are 2 of our bronze charge plates. And we're just going to show you some of the uses for these charge plates. We use them to keep things fresh, things structured, like structured water. And we make our structured water by using our distiller to make us a thing of distilled water. So when we want to structure our drinks, what we do is we take some of our distilled water and we put it on our charge plates, and the structuring process only takes a couple of minutes, at least for small drinks. And the next thing you know, it passively basically structures the water molecules. You don't see anything, but the field that's coming off of these plates is structuring everything above it. So this water becomes structured in about 5 minutes or so. Now, we make a lot of distilled water and we store it in these jugs here. So the way we structure our water with our containers of distilled water is after we've mineralized our distilled water, we set it on our charge plate and we leave it for 24 hours at a time. And now after 24 hours, after this field has been going through this container with the water, we just take it off and we just use it and we put another container on. This water is now structured, and you can enjoy the health benefits of structured water. Now, also, when we get our fruit and vegetables from the local shop, all of it's organic, we set the bowls on plates as well, and we just leave it there. And what you'll find is that the fruits and vegetables that you have resting on plates tend to decay much longer, at a much longer rate than if you didn't have the charged plates. We've done the experiments ourselves. Others have replicated this experiment that you can find online with various vegetables, with cherry tomatoes sitting on charged plates versus cherry tomatoes not on charged plates. And you preserve your fruits and vegetables much longer this way, and you save yourself a lot of money. So for your wine connoisseurs, an idea here is to take using the charge plate as a means of storing the wine near it or on it in your wine cellar. By having a charge plate in your collection, you basically preserve your wine in a much healthier way. You allow the fermentation process and so forth to work for you by using this technology. By having the Orgonite charge plate in your wine cellar, not only is it helping you preserve your wine better, but it's also improving and preserving the taste that you work so hard to achieve in your collection. But let me show you the best way to use Orgonite in the kitchen. And that's in the fridge. By putting this plate inside the fridge, what you've just done is increase the shelf life of all your products within your fridge. It turns the whole thing into an Orgone accumulator box. Your vegetables will be lasting 3 or 4 times longer. Now let me show you how you can use Orgonite to help you sleep. Okay, what you see here are Orgone sleeping pods. Now these sleeping pods are compact, portable, but they're also thick, and that's the secret to its strength. And what you do is you have this resting on you or near you in the bed or under your pillow, like so. And by doing that, that allows you to get a good night's rest. A lot of us are very sensitive to the harmful effects of EMF. And with the rollout of wireless technology like 5G and so forth, there's going to be problems with people being able to rest at night because of the interaction of these fields with the body. So what these do is when you have them on you, when you have it under your pillow, it provides a field of protection around your body so that you can get a good night's rest. So I hope that gave you some ideas on how you can use Orgonite inside and outside of your home. Orgonite's changed my life greatly. It's why I started making it. It's because I was really affected by the harmful effects of EMF. I couldn't sleep at night. I was feeling really ill, and I had to find something that would work. And this is where I found out about Orgonite, what it was, and it's why I started making it. And I'm just glad to have customers contacting us and telling us what they like, what improvements we can make, and I'm just really pleased to be making these now for other people. And so I found the benefit of having this around the home. And if you're interested and want to purchase, you can go to fdwproject.com for that, and also look at our special offers in the link below.
So let's talk about the garden set. We've been selling a bunch of these as well, these garden sets. So you can try just the garden pucks. We call them garden pucks, right?
Yeah, garden pucks, garden stones.
Garden stones. It's a simple pattern. We've colored it green, because it's a garden thing. And now there's actually a way to grid a garden. Right, yes. So we sell these in sets. We've got like the urban set, which is smaller. So if you had like a a patio
in
garden.
an apartment, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Limited space.
And I think maybe we'll do, we've started gardening ourselves, and these have been wonderful. We have these all over our garden, and for us, we're like experimenting with gardening. So we have something here in Morocco, we call it death clay, right? It's like soil that's like heavy clay soil,
yes,
and we've had a really hard time growing things. So it's been like this experiment where we're basically, we're getting seeds that are normally grown in other climates, right? Like in America, and we have them shipped in, and it's like, let's see if I can get, cold weather lettuce to grow in hot desert Marrakesh climate in Morocco, right? Now, when we first started, we were having a really hard time because we didn't know what we were doing. So we've been watching permaculture videos and learning about building your soil and amending the soil and compost piles and all that stuff. I love it. I'm really enjoying the gardening. But these Orgonite garden pucks have really done wonders. So we had a few failures in the garden. We couldn't grow a couple of things. We had to fix the soil. And so we started fixing the soil, and then we started using the Orgonite. And we are growing cold weather. Like, basically, we're growing plants that shouldn't grow in Morocco, in Morocco.
In the climate, yes.
Celery is a big one. We can't find celery anywhere here.
No, it's not here.
It's a cold weather vegetable. It takes a very long time to grow. And the celery that we've got looks just, I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. So it's coming along. We have this nice little garden, and I think what we'll do is maybe I'll do a video where I will use our garden as an example to show you exactly how to place the garden set, because what you want to do is the garden set comes with the pucks and with the pyramids. So you would want to grid out your garden property so that you can like create this field that's like pretty well balanced throughout the entire garden.
Yeah, similar to the way you grid your home by having 4 pyramids around the property. You want to do a similar thing with your garden plot. You want to have the major pieces to define the border of your plot, and then you can dot the plot with these garden stones. Or if you have the urban set, these garden stones are great for like just single potted plants and things like that. Yeah,
and they're really pretty to have around too. It's really nice to have these around. So these are our garden stones, and we have our garden set as well. So that's it for now, everybody. We'll wrap this up by saying that if you want to check out our special offers on our different products, we have all kinds of special offers that are running where you can get some great deals. We ship worldwide.
And you can always contact us through our email if you have any questions about any of our products.
Yep, and if you really wanted to, you can call us as well, because we have a phone number, and leave a message, and we will do our best to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. And we just want to say thank you so much to all of our customers, especially our repeat customers.
Thank you very much.
It's been really a beautiful, amazing process to watch how more and more people are learning about how to use Orgonite in their lives. They're experiencing the benefits and the effects of the Orgonite, and they're coming back to tell us about it. We just wanted to say thank you, and if you have any questions, give us a call or write us an email, and we'll see you next time from Fix the World Morocco. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Hi, we're Tavan and Naima from Fix the World Morocco.
And welcome to our Orgonite garden. So in this video, we're going to walk you around our garden and show you how we've been using Orgonite in order to create an oasis in a desert climate. We live at the foothills of the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, and when we first started gardening, which was about 18 months ago, we had no idea what we were doing,
No.
and we were not able to grow anything because we have something that we call death clay. It's the soil that we're trying to grow our food in. And it was a whole bunch of trial and error, and we realized that we can't grow anything in this soil. So if you're having the same problems, or you live in a very hot climate, sometimes it gets to be about 110 or 120 degrees Fahrenheit here in this area of Morocco. So it's very, very hot. And we have been going through struggles trying to figure out how to grow food, how to grow cool weather vegetables in this particular climate, and we've had a lot of amazing success. And the reason for our success is our Orgonite. So Tavon, can you quickly tell us what is Orgonite and why does it work in the garden?
Orgonite is a technology that's based on the work of the late Dr. Wilhelm Reich, who in the early to mid 20th century was researching cosmic energy, what he called orgone energy, among living things. Now, to measure this energy, or the strength of it and its properties, he created these chambers called orgone accumulators. These were basically boxes where the sides of which were made from alternating layers of metal and non-metal, like steel sheets and sheep's wool, for example, or plastic. Now, when he found that when you created these layers and made a box made out of these materials, that this box had the property of storing energy, or what you call cosmic energy or orgone energy, that had its own unique properties from the environment. So he ran a series of experiments to where you're able to put seedlings inside one of these orgone accumulators versus seedlings in a control box like made out of wood, and he found that these seedlings sprouted healthier and also faster. He did other experiments dealing with preservation, where you're able to take 2 blood samples, put one in one of these accumulators, a sample of blood inside the control box, and he found that the blood sample was preserved longer, took longer to decay. So these accumulators also have a health preserving effect. It's almost as if the energy that's stored in these accumulators are able to enter the organism, enter the plants, or enter the body. So he is making these accumulators that are human size, and we're putting people with ailments in these boxes, and these people were healing quicker. Some of which were cancer patients that had problems that the only way to heal them was through these accumulators. So it's an amazing technology. So now we fast forward to today, and instead of having these alternating layers of metal and non-metal and making accumulators out of them, people have found that if you you can create these structures that are basically epoxy resin containing metals and crystals inside of them, creating the same effect. And what these do is you have this same orgone field, or what it's called today scalar or torsion field, around these objects.
Which creates great energy.
Which creates great energy.
Which the plants love, and it helps the plants to not be so stressed out.
That's right.
And to be able to grow bigger and stronger and grow in a desert where they're not supposed to grow.
This technology takes the stray, harmful fields in the environment and turns it into healthy energy.
That's right. So we're going to take the camera and we're going to follow Tavon around our garden patch over here to give you an idea of where you can place these pyramids and our garden stones as well. And then we'll also bring you up onto the roof and show you the bigger scope of the property. So if you have a large piece of land, like an olive grove like we're living in, or some kind of large farmland, to give you an idea as to how you can place the pyramids on a larger scope of property.
Okay, so we're going to take this plot, for example. This garden plot here is about 4 meters by 8 meters deep. And as you can see, we got a couple of garden beds in this plot. These are actually framed. Some of these are plants inside of pots. And so I'm going to give you an example of what to do. Now, first, you want to take these pyramids here, these Orgonite pyramids, and you want to grid the entire plot of where your garden is. Now, some people have massive plots, but for the sake of this particular video, what you'd want to do is the borders that's defining this plot, meaning these poles here, you want to put 4 pyramids, 1 in each corner to start. When you start to go into the actual garden itself, there's certain things you want to do. The more orgonite, the better. We have these garden stones. Now, these orgonite garden stones are good for containing or having an orgone field within the actual pot itself. So you want to have these garden stones in the actual pots themselves. As you can see, we have some vegetables here, and they're actually in pots. So again, one of these is good for maybe 1, 2, or 3 of these pots. Take one of these garden stones again, and maybe set one in there. And I would probably take another one and actually put it on the put it over there. But what you find is that this field extends, will extend all the way around your garden. You've already put 4 pyramids on the 4 corners of the actual plot itself. Now, but what you're doing is you're basically dotting the inside of where your plants are with these pieces of garden stones. This is what we do with the garden beds here. We have the garden bed right here, for example. You can take maybe between 2 and 4 of these stones and put it in the corner. You put them in the corner there like that. If you have some extra orgonite laying around, I mean, this is a bit much, but let's say maybe not in this garden bed, but maybe the one there. You put a pyramid like that, right there, in our lettuce bed. And by doing that is you've strengthened this field that's dotted with your orgonite all throughout your garden.
Could we talk a bit about the lettuce?
Sure.
Because lettuce is a cold climate vegetable. It likes to grow in cold climates. And we have been growing lettuce, cold climate lettuce, in the desert, yes, which is 110 degrees Fahrenheit and really, really hot. So how have we been doing that? Here's one of our older lettuce beds. We have been harvesting out of this bed.
Yeah. It's kind of a miracle to try to grow it in this environment. We had basically come up with ways of keeping this moist with layers of cardboard and manure and all kinds of different methods, and so that the water will stay retained and not run off and go anywhere else in the death clay that you see actually over there. So we had to come up with these methods of doing that, but then to top it off, we started planting orgonite in our beds. We were also planting orgonite in the seedlings when we're actually sprouting our lettuces, sprouting our different vegetables. So yeah, so we have all these. We had to have all these plants growing in seedlings in our greenhouse around orgonite also.
And this is where I'm going to start all my seedlings. And here's the fun part. We got these hanging baskets that I set up there, and I thought this was a really cool way because I want to get everything off the ground. There's too much stuff on the floor. I feel like I'm always bending over all the time. So rather than just building lots and lots of shelves, I decided to hang all the plants from the ceiling. And so back here, what do we got? First of all, we have Cliffy has come. We also call him the mouth because all he does is meow all day long. This is our Malabar spinach that we grew from seed. And I am so impressed. These big, beautiful, juicy leaves, it's like spinach. It tastes just like spinach. It's actually a little bit milder than spinach. And they grow in a vine. So it's spinach on a vine. And I started them from seed. They're growing in these buckets now. That's a nice, beautiful kale in the back. And these buckets are going to go out into the garden probably in another couple weeks, I think. We'll let them get really big. And then we'll start training them to grow up the trellis fence. And yeah, little cabbage sprouts and some calendula, you know, and any kind of plants that we want to baby. I also have this shelf over here where we've got some pieces of kale I'm trying to bring back to life, some kale on the bottom. And there we go. That's our little greenhouse.
That's very important to have the Orgonite around or on or underneath the actual tray where you're growing your seedlings, so that you're basically creating these healthy conditions for them to sprout. And so they come out healthy. Otherwise, you know, the seedlings might not sprout at all. And they could be attacked by, if it's not the sun, it's from, you know, just external harmful effects of radiation and pests. And so you're basically creating this nice environment for the seeds to sprout, and then so that when you plant them, when they get larger and healthier into a bed like this, they have a greater chance of surviving and becoming strong and healthy, like what you see here. So that was an example of gridding a bed that has some wooden frames around it. And again, you want to have 4 pyramids to kind of grid the property that you actually have your garden in. I know there are some people who are watching this video that have actually fairly large plots of land around their home, but we're able to grow these tomato plants, which tend to grow in a more cooler climate. We like these because they're like stronger vines now, and we're going to redo this whole thing.
Yeah, they're reaching their end of their season, so they're not looking their best right now, but
yeah, but as they're reaching the end of the season, you're also seeing some new growth on some of the ends. You're seeing some new growth at the bottom of it, but we have this pyramid in the middle of this bed here to kind of just basically create a strong environment for these tomatoes that we have here. Brussels sprouts. These are our Brussels sprouts. Again, you can take one of these garden stones. One garden stone in one of these pots is good for maybe like the 3 there. Now this is a fairly larger pot there, so I would take one of these garden stones and I would toss one in there as well. That's basically what we've been doing, and we believe that it has boosted the effectiveness of us growing our plants here. In addition to us using these various techniques to grow our garden within a desert climate, having Orgonite as a tool with your skills just makes the plants healthier. It boosts the health of your plants. So now we're on top of the flat roof, and now I'm going to show you where you want to place your Orgonite on a large plot of land. What you can see here is a space of land that I can put Orgonite on for such a plot. If you can see there is a mud building there, and so I would take one of these pyramids and I would put it right on the corner of that building, and that would mark, let's say, the right side of the plot right there. And then going across here, you can see a vineyard across the vineyard, and on the left edge of that vineyard I would take another pyramid and I would put it at the corner, marking the end of that vineyard on the left side right there. We've just placed 2 pyramids on our property. Now you're trying to grid your property, so you're going to need 4. So for the 3rd corner, I'm going to place one of these pyramids for us over about 5 olive trees that way. Is a corner marking the 3rd corner of our plot. I'm going to place one of these pyramids over there, maybe at the corner at the base of one of the olive trees on the far end. And finally, for the 4th corner, I'm going to place one of these pyramids right over there. And that will be the 4 pyramids gridding this property.
here's just one more quick example. So here we've got a nice large plot of land. These are some brand new baby olive trees in the center. And one thing you could do is just grid this with one pyramid here, one back here, and one over there. Just to give you another idea of how you can grid a plot of land.
I hope you found it helpful on how to grid your property with Orgonite. Now, we ship all over the world. We make each one of these pyramids by hand. Just look at the link below. And thanks for watching. Hello, I'm Tavan from Fix the World Morocco, and today I'd like to talk to you about our Orgonite garden pucks. How can Orgonite help your plants grow? Orgonite uses Orgone energy, which was discovered by Dr. Wilhelm Reich. And when he made these Orgone accumulator boxes, he found that when you took samples of seeds inside the accumulator, they grew better, healthier, stronger than seeds that were put inside controlled conditions. Now we fast forward to today, and people are using Orgonite to make their plants grow healthier and stronger. Here's an example of how Orgonite can make your plants grow healthier than if you didn't have Orgonite. In this example, you can see a bed that did not have Orgonite, and then versus a bed that did have Orgonite. So on the left side, you have the flower bed that does not have the Orgonite, and then on the right side, there's the flower bed with Orgonite. And here you can clearly see the difference. So today, we have some special offers for our new Orgonite garden pucks. You can get the garden pucks one at a time or in sets of 2 or 4. And this is perfect so that if you only have space for potted plants. And we also have a special gardener's urban garden pack where it's 4 pucks and a pyramid. Now this is perfect if you're limited for space and you might have some space in your on your rooftop or in your patio. Now for larger gardens like community gardens, we have our Orgonite community pack. This pack has 4 pyramids and 8 of these garden pucks. It's perfect for larger plots of land up to, let's say, an acre. These offers are only available for the next 24 hours at these prices. So don't delay, click the link below and start growing bigger, healthier, and better plants today.